All right, now from politics, we shift gears and look at what transformative leaders is all about. We are talking about the nexus between faith and work, how that nexus works out. And joining me for that conversation all the way from North Carolina is Dr. Julius Coons, who is the Executive Director of Christians in the Marketplace. Welcome to the program.
God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Now, when we talk about Christians in the Marketplace, tell me, what is the idea of founding such a ministry, and how is it helping or supporting believers in the workplace?
Well, if you look at the ministry of Jesus, most, if not all, of his ministry, just for a few, they were all done in the marketplace. All of his disciples were from the marketplace. So Jesus spent more time in the marketplace than he did in the synagogue or in the temple. So if Jesus spent more time there, then there must be something about the marketplace that he was trying to tell us. And I think it's a hidden jewel that really has to be discovered so that you can understand the magnitude and the opportunity that we have as believers to actually minister in the marketplace like he did.
Yes, the attitude has always been, or seems to be, Christianity works well in church as opposed to the workplace. Or when it comes to the workplace, it's put aside. How does that connect and ensure that people, or whoever the Christians who are working within the corporate sector can still practice their faith and still remain productive?
Well, I think it's a lack of understanding, because if you think about the word work and the word worship have the same Hebrew word, is avodah. So when you go to work, you're literally going to worship. And if people understood that if you go to work, you're literally going to worship, your work will be better, your attitude will be better. There's a lot can be done by the way of the kingdom if we fully understand what does it really mean to work or be in the workplace. Do you not know the marketplace was designed for unbelievers and believers to congregate in the same location? Only God could have planned that, because we wouldn't do that purposely on our own. So what God did, he created the marketplace so that unbelievers and believers can be in the same space. So we don't really have to go out to witness. He has literally brought people to us so that we can live out our faith.
Yes. Now, there is the aspect of success in family, in life, and also in careers. So how do biblical solutions apply in all this?
That's a great question. A lot of times when people ask me questions, especially concerning the marketplace, is that one of the greatest revelations that I've learned that in the marketplace is knowing your field. Now, as a husband, I am a disciple first. As a father, I am a disciple first. As a business owner, I am a disciple first. As a pastor, I'm a disciple first. So everything I do emanates from my discipleship. It makes things a whole lot effortless when you take the approach of being a disciple first, and then you minister out of your discipleship. Then it will make your family a lot easier to manage and to be in order, as well as the business community. As a business owner for over 25 years, I've been able to see the difference between what church life is about and what work life is about. So God has created, allowed me to have this position to be able to see on both sides. Now I understand why Jesus did 39 of his miracles of 42. He did it in the marketplace, not in church. Again, all of his disciples came from the marketplace. Not one minister, not one bishop, not one deacon, all came from the marketplace. Why? Because they understood the spirit of exchange.
Now, you have been involved in chaplaincy services for businesses. How has that impacted, or what has been the impact so far?
It's changed my life. It has literally changed my life. Because what I found out as a pastor, we can do what we supposed to do within the four walls of the church and be successful. It's when you get beyond the four walls of the church, that's when you're really tested whether or not the love of God dwelleth within you. So what it has done for me, it has literally transformed my life, because I can love harder and I can love deeper than I've ever loved before. Why? Because I've been able to encounter people who don't love me, who treat me wrong and treat me bad, who curse me but yet I bless them, who hate me but yet I love them. Those who I pray for because they despitefully used me. If chaplaincy would not have been in order for me to become a chaplain, I don't think I would have ever been in the space to know whether or not the love of God would truly dwell within me. I think we hide behind titles. I think we hide behind the four walls and position within the church. And the church has become the bushel that our lights are now hidden. We need to get from beyond the church wall and determine whether or not we are truly believers and disciples of Christ. Chaplaincy would give you that opportunity. And most position in church will not give you the opportunity of a chaplain because it goes beyond the four walls.
All right. There's also the aspect where believers or people within the marketplace who are practicing their faith feel in a way disconnected from their faith. How can they regain that? Especially if this happens once they start their career, how can they navigate around that?
Oh, I think that's a great question. One of the things that I can tell you that people who don't understand that God called us to the marketplace, they will see a difference. They will see a divide. They will see it as if it's something that does not need to be done in the space of work. But I have found out that because people who understand church life, they don't engage their church life, because, as I said many times before, you can live saved for an hour and a half in church. It's when you leave church, how do you live? How do you demonstrate the love of God when you're outside the four walls of the church? How do you reveal him? How does he come forth? Because it will give you an opportunity. And when you have family and you have church and you have work, how do you navigate that? You do it from out of your discipleship. And when I talk about chaplaincy, Mike, the thing that I tell people about chaplaincy is only an undercover disciple. That's all you are. Chaplaincy is an undercover disciple. We don't live as disciples, but we do live as Christians. Now, what's the difference? The difference is this, Mike, is that the Bible said in Acts chapter 11, verse 26, that the disciple was first called Christian. So in order to really be a Christian, you must first be a disciple. And we're not teaching discipleship, but we are inviting people to become Christians.
So when we talk about this aspect, there's something that comes up. Is it about doing a certain thing, or it's about authenticity in the way that a person behaves, where they are, whether they are in the corporate world or private sector world? Is it about doing a certain thing, or it's about authenticity?
Well, the Bible said, be not conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It is about transformation. It's good that you have transformative leaders as the title for today. It is about being transformed and not just change, because you can change and change back. But if you ever get transformed, you can't go back. What do you mean by that? Well, when a caterpillar become a butterfly can never become a caterpillar. Why? Because he went through a metamorphosis, a transformation. So in Christ, we should all experience what does it mean to have a transformative life. And only through him we can do that. But he takes us going through some things, just like the butterfly or the caterpillar has to go through a cocooning process. in order to be transformed. Sometimes we have to be put in a cocoon, a spiritual cocoon, so that we can also be transformed. And that's how it makes the difference between those who fully don't understand and those who feel as if there's a way that they can live saved and there's a way to do it, but there's a proper space. Jesus said, take the kingdom wherever you go. Wherever you go, you take the kingdom. And that's my message, is let's not miss the opportunity that God has given us as believers, whether we're at church or whether we're in the marketplace. God is going to always, through the Holy Spirit, going to give us an opportunity to bring him forth. And we don't ever want to miss those opportunities because, again, we feel as if the marketplace is not the place to do that. And it is the perfect place to bring him forth. It is the perfect place. And that's why I'm passionate, because as a pastor for 15 years, I have never been able to be in a space and the opportunity to reveal Christ like I do right now. There is so much grace and there's so much God has shown me as a chaplain, even more so than as a pastor, because I'm gifted to pastor, but I've been called to the marketplace.
How does that affect the relations between the workers and their bosses, especially when it comes to matters of faith within the workplace?
Absolutely. It's a lifestyle. It's a lot. I think sometimes we talk more than we live. I think if you live out Christ's teaching, it will be evidence of people around us that there's something different about you. It's not a life of compromising. It's a life of compassion. So we go to the workplace not wearing a big cross around our neck or carrying a big Bible. But if you live out the life and character of Jesus Christ, it will impact and affect and influence other people to ask you questions. How do you get through some of your tough times in life? How do you get through that crisis in your life? Why? Because we are not of this world. We're in it, but we are not of this world. And our faith has to be tested. And when our faith is tested, Mike, other people will know the God that you truly serve. That's how we are able to influence our co-worker, not because of what we say, but how we live.
The aspect of achieving uniqueness is very important, especially if you want to make an impact in the area in which you're working. So how does that uniqueness help to attract people through inspiration and actually giving hope?
Well, again, not giving. First, I can say this. As a characteristic of Christ, you go to work on time, and you stay there when you need to finish. Some people go to work late and they leave early. Well, that's not showing a good character of Christ, because other people are always watching you, and they're watching us, so they can determine what a Christian truly looks like. And I don't think sometimes we have done a good job with that. And I think the idea of what people are looking for and how they are able to get through some of their life adjustment in crisis is that they're always looking for a solution. They're always, and sometimes they've been led by the wrong people because they have these itching ears, and we have these people who give in false doctrine that they may be able to hear because of what they want to hear. But those that's in the marketplace, Mike, those who go to work every day and they have these issues that they can't talk to anyone about, that's where we come in. We come in with a listening heart, not just a listening head, but we come in with a listening heart. And the more we die to self, the more Christ is revealed to others. That's why I encourage everyone, if you haven't looked at the life of a chaplain, or you haven't thought about being a chaplain, I will encourage those who may be listening to think about being a chaplain, so that you can get the experience of what does it mean to go deeper? What does it mean to go into the marketplace for 8 to 10 hours a day Think about this, Mike. We work 8 to 10 hours a day. We bring Christ to work. Do we complain? Do we argue with the boss? How do we treat our coworkers? Or are we trying to be a peacemaker? Or are we complaining? Are we bringing in things that perhaps does not need to be in the workplace? So all of these things is part of life, and we bring all of these to work. And people need someone, just someone, to maybe just lay their head on and say, can I talk to you? And God has blessed me over the last 7 years as a chaplain. I've been able to reach more people as a chaplain than I have as a pastor. Currently, right now, we have graduated over 475 students from our program. We have licensed over 175 people in less than 4 years. We are now in 40 in the United States. We are in Canada, and we are in East Africa now. And God is going to expand us to the Philippines, hopefully by the end of this year, because he sees the magnitude of what this ministry can do. That's why I'm excited, and that's why I'm excited about being here with you.
Yes. And in terms of productivity, whether you're practicing faith or you're practicing your career, productivity is very important. Now, why or how can believers, especially within the marketplace, take advantage of that and enhance their productivity, and why?
Yes, sir. Yes, great question, Mike. It's a spirit of excellence. It's a spirit of excellence. God gave us a spirit of excellence. And the reason why is that we're supposed to be doing work that people will want to know. How do you do what you do? Give us an opportunity to do work so well, and so that we can produce so well that other people will want to know. How do you do what you do? How is it that most of the awards, what are you doing that I'm not doing? What a great opportunity, Mike, for them to say, you know what, as a believer, can I share with you why I do what I do? And that is for you to ask me questions and to let me tell you about the God that I serve. These are reasons why productivity is important to a business, I just got hired on as a chaplain to a company here in North Carolina because I met with them one time and they saw how beneficial a chaplain would be in their company. And they almost hired me on the spot because they saw it as a benefit, because people go to work and they're hurting. And when people can find solution at work, they become better workers. They become confident in their work. And that's why I believe that if we can demonstrate the love of God through this ministry of chaplaincy, I believe that you and anyone else that experiencing workers, you will see a dramatic change in your workplace if we have people who can demonstrate what the spirit of excellence is all about.
Yes. Now, in the workplace, there are motivators, various motivators to enhance productivity for people within a company or a business setting. We're talking about bonuses, salary increments, promotions. How should believers approach their work regardless of these motivators?
Oh, because we have to, again, think, man, you got some great questions, Mike. I'm telling you, the idea of understanding, why do you go to work? If you go to work just to get a paycheck, that is the wrong reason for a believer. If you go to work just so that you can buy a new car, a new house, all of those things are great. They're good. But if we go to work as a believer, not knowing that that is a place of worship, the Bible talks about in Luke, know your field. The Bible said the field are the people of the world, but we are the seed, the Son of God. So we go to the field, and we are planted in the field. And the field is where you work. That's your field. So when we go to work, we're literally going to the field that we're planted in. Why? Why did God put us there? Because we are the sons of God, and we have to be planted in the world. that we can demonstrate to others who our owner is, who the owner of the land is. So that's why I believe that through this type of ministry, so when people come to work and they have to understand why they're there, if they know that work is worship. You think about it, Mike. If you know that I'm coming in to work for 8 hours for worship, it would change a person's mindset.
Yes.
When they open their car door and they get into their car and they head down the street praying for the people who driving beside them. Why? Because I'm going to worship. And you go into your office and you go into your cubicle, and wherever your space is, it is sanctified, it's saturated. It's saturated with the Spirit of God. And because of that, the Spirit himself draws people to you because they see the light. They see the light. And that's why when we go to work and when we understand that this is worship, it will change your mind. I know it changed mine.
Yes. And still on that aspect, there's the aspect of what's in it for me versus what my faith expects of me. Do you think those two scenarios attract similar responses or diverse responses?
Can you repeat that for me one more time?
The aspect where I'm getting into the marketplace with the idea that, quote unquote, what's in it for me? And on the other hand, there's the aspect of, quote unquote, what my faith expects of me. Do you think both of those scenarios attract different responses or similar responses?
I think it can be both. I do. I think it can be both. It's just like I know you may have heard of Michael Jordan. You may have heard of him. You may have heard of Tiger Woods. If you have heard of those two men, they're great in their sport. But they said they need a coach. Michael said because he can't see his dribble. Tiger Woods said he can't see his swing. Even as good as we are in our faith, we still need an opportunity to get better. And when we are in the marketplace, we are being tested to get better. It's like going to the gym. It's like working out. There's some spiritual muscles that we haven't used in a long time. There's some faith muscles that we haven't used in a long time. So I think they go hand in hand, because what doesn't get used, you will lose it. So the idea or the question is that even though I feel as if I'm saved, I feel that I love Jesus, I feel that I have faith, but how do I know unless you're tested? How do you know if you test it with your faith? And that's why it's important, I believe that it's important that when we do have these opportunities to be able to express ourselves and to be able to use our faith and to be able to work and cause people to see the excellence of what we do, I think that's what's going to help us bring forth Christ.
Yes. How do you think Christian principles impact on job and approach to services?
Christian principle is something that we have to live by, regardless of what is in the workplace. We still are accountable and responsible for Christian's principle. So we don't compromise because we have a paycheck. We don't compromise because we want to get a position at work. We use these principles to live by. And these principles are going to help us to walk out our faith. Because at the end of the day, you have to ask the question, or we have to ask the question, did I please the Lord today? Did I do something to glorify him today? When we take an account of what happened at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, can we account for what we did to please him? That is accountability that we owe to him because of the life that he's given us. And so when it comes to that, it really relies on Mike, the responsibility that we have been given and the opportunity that we have been given to, when we go into the workplace, to know that these are things that the Lord has trusted us with, because people need the Lord.
Dr. Coons, what is your parting shot?
Say it again.
Your parting shot.
What is my packet? Say it one more. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your final words.
I think I understood your question. You said, what is my degree?
No. I'm asking your final words, because we are coming to the close of the segment.
Yes. My final word is this. Couple of things that I will like to share with those who may be listening. One is that we are doing a conference there on the 27th. We're doing a conference there, as well as a graduating class for those who graduate throughout the entire year. We're going to be coming there on the 25th, leaving on the 25th, getting there on the 26th, and we're going to be doing a graduation and a conference that Saturday. We would like for everyone to come out to learn more about the Marketplace ministry and just to share what Christians in the Marketplace is doing locally and around the world, that in the space that God has given us. I do want to say that for those, again, who are listening, is to remind them that every church leader should consider about being a chaplain. And what does it truly mean to be a Christians in the Marketplace? It's to develop a better understanding of what it means to be a disciple of Christ. Serving with your heart and not just with your hand. Putting others first. Down to self, that Christ may be revealed, and having the character of Christ in the marketplace. This is something that I have experienced over these last 7 years as a chaplain, and as a pastor for 15 years. I know the difference, and I know how impactful chaplaincy can be, and just simply being a Christian in the marketplace. So I do appreciate you giving me this opportunity to share with your audience, Mike, and I appreciate, again, those who are there in Kenya, that we have formed a team. We have formed a Christians in the Marketplace team there in Kenya to help us to grow the ministry of chaplaincy there in Nairobi and beyond.
All right.
Thank you so much. God bless you. And again, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for making time to come here on Good Morning Kenya and talk about the aspect of Christians in the marketplace. That is Dr. Joseph Coons, who is the Executive Director of Christians in the Marketplace. This is where we end this segment, but don't go too far. Vivian Ndegwa is coming back with more on cyber security. Good morning.